Quit your full-time job now and become a full-time driver. Why bother about CPF? You can save your own money. You can't use it anyway, right? No car? Just rent lah. What's so difficult? You got no boss and it's all on your own timing. Or is this just another method to suffer in silence? Welcome to episode 3 of Suffer in Silence SG. Well, I hope you have already enjoyed the first 2 episodes. A bit technical in some ways. Well, that's the reason for this. I want to give an educational input into this, not just pure entertainment. Hopefully you manage to actually get the drips and drabs or whatever you need from those past 2 episodes. So for today's episode, we're going to be looking into these 3 letters. PHV. Solely PHV. And well, if you have caught the earlier part, a lot of people is saying that you can quit your full-time job. You can just be a full-time driver. You don't need to bother about reporting to work on time. You can choose when you want to drive. You can even choose how much you want to save up, how much you need to earn. You can plan your whole month ahead of you. Well, if you ask me whether it's true, yeah, probably it is true in certain way. But of course, every man's meat is another man's poison. Ever heard that saying before? So doesn't mean that I can do well driving PHV full time, you can too. But it also means that if someone can, the other can. This is always a topic of contention. Everyone is always not able to agree on this point. Okay, so aside from all the details, I'm going to spare you all the details because today's story is from someone close. Me. So let's go over to story time. So hi guys, I actually started PHV while Uber was still around. Probably in the year 2017, thereabouts. Okay, it started as a part-time hustle. All right. Before that, I used to do delivery. I even work in places like car wash. I even ever wash a glass facade outside a commercial building. All kind of side hustle that I've tried before. But finally, in 2017, I found a side hustle that has been with me for the years. So at that point in time, I was using my own car to actually drive because there is no requirement to register Z10 or Z11 all these things at the start. Wait a bit. No. I started out renting because I do not have a Z10 or 11. Sorry. Don't puff mommy. This one is from my own memory. So the only thing that I remember is there's no such thing as a PDVL, professional drivers vocational private driver vocational license or something along that line, PDVL, right? I do not need to have that to start off in 2017. So earning was good. Okay, last time I used a tribe car to rent and drive. They allow that, and it only cost that time was only like I think approximately about a few dollars per hour, less than $10 per hour. Probably it was a promo period or whatsoever not, right? So yeah, I actually rented per hour because I still had a full-time job. So I rented like maybe 4-hour blocks, 5-hour blocks, and then I drive. And the earnings was actually good to a point that it carried on. Then once I left that full-time job, I became a full-time driver. So at this moment, I did not rent from Tribe Car, but I actually rented from a company. Mind you, I have my own car, but because I didn't want to convert back then, didn't know how to convert, the amount of insurance, top up and so on, because it was still at an early stage. So insurance was a little bit different back then. I didn't know much, right? So I continued to actually rent, but only for 3 months just to try. So I remember the first ever car that I drove was a Toyota Fielder. I don't see it on the road anymore. It is actually a 5-seater car lah with me. So technically it's a 4-seater call for Grab and so on, right? So that car has a very large boot space. It's actually a hatchback, but it has a very large boot space, like an MPV style. So I drove that car, and then I actually got an offer from Grab at that time, because between Grab and Uber, they were actually competing with each other in a sense for the market share. So Grab gave me an incentive of $900 per week, just so that I can hit 140 trips. So if you look at 140 trips in 7 days, technically each day you need about 20 trips. Back then it was fairly easy because taxi prices were still a bit higher, and a lot of taxi drivers at that time do not support the platforms. So they were still plying the streets, and going into the taxi stands, whereas private hire drivers are on call. You don't need to actually literally be there, right? So after Uber left, of course, the fares are affected. But when during this period where I'm actually taking this $900 incentive, right, I actually managed to do just 6 days of work, which means that I probably hit more than 25 lah, at least 25 lah, I guess, right? So I managed to hit whatever I need within a 12-hour drive, right? Within a 12-hour drive. I followed a shift pattern like outside. So it's 8 a.m. I start, 8 p.m. I stop. Of course, some drivers who's hearing this was 8 a.m. for what? You miss it already. The best timing to go at 5 a.m. Yeah. Different people got different timing. Okay, I need to send my kids and everything. So yes, I started at about 8 a.m. I end at about 8 p.m. Okay, this is my usual timing. So what I managed to get is, imagine this, on average lah, I don't want to count it high, don't want to count it low. On average, let's say I earn about $10 per call, okay? And I only did this 140 lah for 1 week, okay? That is already 1,400, okay? We are talking gross, So 1,400 you plus 900. So that's basically what, 2,300, correct? So 2,300 per week. If you times 4 in a simple maths, I don't want to count 30 days or what, just times 4. How much already? Alright, that is how much I take back in a month. And I'm quoting you the lowest average. I never tell you there are $20 trips. I never tell you there are $40 trips. No, I never. No surge pricing, nothing. I'm just telling you the very basic. Because I don't want to overquote lah. Last time and now different, right? So, I managed to actually take back enough, more than enough actually, until such time that I've decided to actually convert my own car just before the 3 months end lah. So I check it out, and at that point in time, insurance was only a top up of a few hundred, $200 to $300. It haven't started out with this scheme where now PHV or PDVL or private hire vehicles are insured at almost times 2 of the initial amount or that any other personal drivers are driving at. So imagine back then I only paid extra 300, and then the Z10 conversion is only just a little bit lah. There are sums I can't remember. Go inside One Motoring to find out. Don't ask me, don't quote me. I cannot remember because this was done like in 2017. So I went over. That time I was driving a Honda. What car was I driving? Honda Odyssey 2.4 RB1. Very old car. Very, very, very heavy petrol usage and so on and so forth. But yeah, I used to drive that, and I love to drive up to Penang, all these things. So it made sense to have that car at that time. So I drove that car every single day after I've converted. And then Uber left. I can't remember which year. Go and Google yourself. But Uber left Singapore. And at that point in time, supply went up. A lot of drivers join. From part-timers to full-timers. Weekends don't say lah. All the part-timers will come out. Weekdays, okay, still there. But, more drivers are on the road. So, demand remains. I don't see demand like suddenly surging up. Probably it was growing. Because at the early stage, people are still thinking, good man, might as well take taxi, right? Safe man. All these questions were lingering in our minds, right? But after a while, people actually started taking private hire cars, started going onto platforms like Uber left, Grab, and then after that the new contenders like Gojek, Tada, Ride, CDG, even Comfort have already opened up another wing for their, private hire drivers. So it shows that the demand for private hire vehicles went up. And usually back then I take about average lah. Don't consider search. Average is about 4 hours to hit $100. And I'm talking 4 hours to hit $100 gross. Okay, I'm not talking net. And this is on a low demand day. Low demand, which means that sometimes you need to stop one corner for a while, wait for the next call. And on good days, in that 4 hours, probably between $150 to $200. Yeah, ever got there before in 4 hours. But presently now, because I'm still driving, recently I drove on Grab, I drove on Gojek, I drove on Tada. Ride I never pick up because Ride they always cancel on me. CDG also I drove. So in recent times, I think across all platforms, 4 hours, $100. 4 hours, $100. And that's also, you don't stay at a point. Or back then is basically before you even drop, your next ping already comes in. But now, these 4 hours, of course we're talking non-peak periods, right? You will probably get some emptiness in between. You might need to drive from one location to another to get pings. Of course, if you drop someone off in Tuas, you don't expect to have an immediate ping there. Depends if you send the person there at a peak hour timing, maybe because shift changes and so on. But if not, then probably you empty car have to drive out the 20 kilometers. I'm telling you, Tuas is actually very far. So from that, I'm actually earning about $100 per hour per 4 hours block. And right now, there are times where you can literally stop, never off the app, go toilet, come back, also nothing. There are. Okay, and depends on which area you're at. And right now, more often than not, we need to actually ply the streets and utilize more fuel. Last time before I drop, I get my next ping. I drop the person, I immediately go and fetch the next one. But now, the moment I drop, I need to drive around. I need to look at the map, see where am I. I need to go to somewhere more high demand per se. And some of the platforms actually give you a heat map, which sometimes works, sometimes doesn't. Sometimes you're in the middle of a very red zone, but you don't get a ping. Depending, maybe it's no driver, maybe it's too many driver, or just one person causing the demand and everyone should there. Someone else got it lah. I'm not quite sure. I'm not a geek that can understand this algo. I just work in the zone. Alright. And then there is no more incentives. Last time have lah. I'm not saying no more incentives, but you imagine this. Last time you do 140 trips, you can get 900. Now you think you can get $90? I don't know. I really don't know. I've read a few of the different platforms, the incentives they're giving. I'm not gonna say out what exactly. I'm not gonna even compare. But I'm telling you that it's no longer worth it lah. For a person who went through those days with Uber, you will definitely agree with me that it is no longer worth it to chase incentives. It's better to chase distance calls, it's better to chase peak period, all these things, rather than incentives. There's no incentive for drivers. It doesn't incentivize us anymore. So maybe platforms can take a look at what incentives you're putting out there and whether or not a little more incentive would spark everyone to go onto your platform. Okay, besides that, some days you actually meet passengers who come into the car and give you some, I don't know lah, you want to call it arrogance, or maybe they're in a foul mood and they start treating you cold. Even worse, during a certain peak period, everyone out there, probably let's put it CBD, everyone's going off at 5:30 p.m. and everyone out there is pressing the button hoping to get a car. But how many cars are around? I don't know. If everyone suddenly floats over and goes to CBD, probably the demand and the supply matches, so the surge don't go up. But the surge, if it goes up so high, is because there is no supply, which means a lot of drivers are already out from the CBD area. And coming back into the CBD area, some people might not want to, because you drive empty into CBD, you still need to pay for ERP at some of the locations. I know a few drivers already was saying, not many, got area. Okay. I'm not quoting directly, I'm just saying in general. So, of course, drivers, if let's say you send someone from CBD to Jurong, you want to come back empty car all the way to CBD? May or may not be. If you're talking about night time, different. Night time, you're serving those people who goes to clubs. Okay, you send out outside, it's gonna be empty. You come back inside, okay. But if you're talking about the evening peak, it doesn't really make sense. You drop somewhere in Jurong, then you go somewhere in Jurong lah. Jurong got Innovation Center, Tukang Road, whatever. All those places also will have demand, right? So it doesn't make sense for a driver to suddenly just come back to CBD. So when you are in CBD and you are pressing that button, it takes some time to get you a driver. So imagine if you already got a driver, you happy already, but actually you're not going far. You're only going to Telok Blangah. Okay? But you need to pay a significant amount. No, it's not like it's below $10. It's almost $20, although it's a short distance. Then suddenly after waiting, happy already, driver cancel on you. Why? Ayo, I come back all the way just to take this one, go Telok Blangah. Some drivers may feel it that way. Because why? Now from here to Telok Blangah is going to take a certain amount of minutes because of the jam. So is it worth it for the driver? Some may say no, some may say yes. Some may agree that you go by the back roads. After that, you reach Telok Blangah, you drop quickly, you come back CBD because it's very near. Yes, a lot of experienced drivers will tell you that. But those a bit less experienced or probably a little too tired, I shall say, to actually do that, will say, I don't want I just wait for someone that's going to Tuas or Jurong or Woodlands more worth it. Some people may think that way, right? Every driver has their own opinion, has their own mentality, has their own strategy. So as the passenger down there, you get cancelled on. So that's the first cancellation. What if the second time it happened again? And then third time, I'm the driver. And I just, okay lor, went take lor. So upon arrival, to me, I took less than 5 minutes to arrive at that location. But to that passenger, he has been standing there for more than 30 minutes to wait for a car. It is not my fault. It is definitely not my fault. It may or may not be the fault of the other two drivers for cancelling for whatever reason. They are right. Because passengers also do that to us, right? So later I talk about the passenger side. So right now, when he gets into the car, he's already feeling sweaty. He's been standing beside the hot road, the noise. Half an hour to 45 minutes, finally he gets into the car. And when usually they will tell you greet the passengers, everything. Yeah, it's service. So different drivers will do it differently. Like for me, hey, hi, evening, Mr. Blah, blah, blah. So you're going to this block? Oh, so you're going to this location? Okay. He's not in a good mood. Not gonna do anything. I don't like to create conversations because when I take a taxi also, if uncle create conversation with me, sometimes annoying. Sometimes. I'm not saying every time. But sometimes it's annoying. So on days like that, I believe he needs his peace, he needs his quiet. My music has never been loud. And it's gonna be English channels. I don't listen to my own mother tongue because why? I find that when I enter a taxi and I don't understand what is on the radio, so not nice. The environment is not really comfortable. So I just put it in English, then I just drive. So when you drive, you hit a jam, right? So this guy has been standing there for 30 minutes. He get into the car. Yes, your car is air-conditioned. All okay. No problems. No smell. Clean. Aircon is okay. But you hit into a jam. Then what they do? How do you feel as a driver? Okay. Maybe you're overthinking. Maybe he's actually looking at his phone and he's being pissed about something else. So what do you start doing naturally as a driver in the driver's seat? You will start looking up at the, mirror to glance. And imagine this, if you're looking up and he's like literally staring at the mirror looking back into your eyes with a very angry look or unhappy look. I like that. What do you feel? Wah, okay, never mind. Let's not engage. Let's just continue driving. Ayo, why you choose this road? This is always a question and always an argument between a driver and a passenger. Why you choose this road? Number one, we choose the shortest and fastest road. I'm not saying every shortest road is the fastest road, but we chose the shortest and the fastest. So imagine if this direction give you 1 kilometer, this direction give you 1.5, but this is jam, this is no jams, of course we will take the 1.5, right? But this, we are talking about experienced drivers. Those people who are just using the app, they will tell you the app say like that. The app say like that, you also start like that. It's up to you. It's your call. It's your call. Because remember this, whichever direction you chose, whichever movements or changes in the GPS that you take does not affect the fare. Does not. This is not Uber days. Uber days, they give you a route, you deviate from the route, there will be deviation charges, whatever. But now don't have. So you keep quoting the same old thing, but you get stuck. You lose the time. Your passenger might be 100p, but you lose the time. So as drivers, don't always, I must say this don't always depend on the GPS. If you depend on the GPS, then use it properly. Most of the GPS can give you alternate routes, recalculate, shortest, fastest, whatever. If you know how to use it, good. If you don't know how to use it, then learn. That's the smallest that you can do for your passenger. If let's say you look at the map, you see that this direction you're going. Let's say for me, CBD going to Telok Blangah, the most clear cut is go down Keppel. Go down Keppel, then is either I go below the viaduct or on top of the viaduct, then come back down, right? So imagine if right now from here, I want to turn into Keppel and then suddenly down there got one major accident. So do I continue into Keppel? A lot of drivers will say, that's the shortest route. Okay. Let's say that the accident is just after those PSA area. So it's literally where it goes up into AYE and it also turns left. Right? That area is totally blocked. Then how? You want to stay down there and wait? Of course you find alternate route. Another alternate route which is slightly further. Then you make the right turn, you go by Police Cantonment Complex, that area, then you go all the way into Bukit Merah, then you turn Possible, right? Possible. Is it going to be jammed? Definitely, because everyone who knows this road will take it because that area is jammed. But will it be better than being stuck totally? It would, right? But for that particular passenger that I took, well, the road is just slow moving because of heavy amount of vehicles. There is no accident, no nothing. All other routes are also jammed up, and based on the waste calculation that I use, all other routes are taking a slightly longer time. Of course, it's a slightly longer distance. So he starts blabbering and blabbering. I know. Don't want to get into argument, pointless. And when you drive all the way, then you clear the jam area, suddenly all quiet and peaceful already, take the viaduct, everything, reach the place. This is one thing that a lot of drivers don't like. And it may trigger some drivers, but please, drivers, you're drivers anyway, we are all drivers. We are giving a service, just shut up lah. Okay, what they do, they step out of the vehicle, never say thank you, never mind. Most of them don't say thank you lah, most lah. So they exit the car, they slam your car and move off. You feel pissed. Yes, you feel pissed. Sometimes it is unfair. Sometimes it may be fair. It depends on your driving style. Maybe you e-brake here, e-brake there, speed here, speed there. I don't know. So you may feel that it's okay. But what about the passenger behind that's feeling the whole bump? If it's a bumpy ride after a long day, some people is not happy. But no matter what, it shows volume of you as a human being. If the passenger want to behave that way, then you know the upbringing is like that. Not my problem, right? So don't get agitated. But that is what you may have to go through on certain days. I'm not saying every passenger is like that. Some passengers are very nice. They come in, hey, how's your day? What today? Rabak. They start telling you the whole story about how their day went. Well, okay, I'm okay to listen. They're not talking politics. They're not talking anything racial or whatever. They're talking about their day. They just need someone to talk to. You know, some people are just, they come home, they don't have a place to vent. They don't have a partner to actually listen to them. Some people, I'm saying some people, because not many out there has a partner that is willing to listen to you nag about how bad your day went. Your partner will say, yala, just what to do, So for us, it's like, we listen. I personally listen. I even have another platform that I actually I recreate and set and give stories about what happens in my car. If you ever want to know, the search lah. You will know where to find it on TikTok. So at this stage in time, these are the things that you will need to face. And then there was one time I was driving, and there is an elderly couple that I picked up. So this elderly couple, very nice. It's like, hi, morning. Oh, I'm going here. Yeah, correct. This is the location. You look very young, Okay. Is that a compliment? Next, she said, wah, wasted, right? You regret or not? I was like, regret? Yalah, mommy asked you to study hard. You don't want to study hard, right? That's why now cannot do anything but become a driver. Wow. At that moment, that judgment call made by this passenger was due to what? If I'm being very sensitive, my mind might say, is it because I'm Malay? Or is it because I'm not dressed well? At that point in time, yes, I was doing full time. But it's not as though I dropped out from school. I managed to clear through and have a diploma. I managed to have a good career. But it's just at this time, this is a career choice that I want to embark on. I'm taking sufficient amount of income at that stage. So who are you to judge me? Well, all this feeling comes up. It bottles up because you don't want to throw it out, right? Some drivers might say, I don't care, I just say out. You think what? But what happens then? You're going to spend the next 30 minutes with this person inside the car. It's going to be a very unpleasant journey for you as much as it's going to be for that person. Well, that person is judgmental, so be it. It shows they have very low EQ, although they want to say they got IQ. But what about you? If you react in the same way, aren't you just like them? Or give them a taste of their own medicine? Is that something that you should be doing? Well, I chose not to. I like, no lah, auntie. This one just for now only lah. Really Then last time you do what? Oh, last time I work in this, then I work in that. Oh, really Then why? Is it something happened? No lah, auntie, just want to try lah this time. Oh, end of the day, she said, hey boy, sorry I thought you know lah, you look like you are about 40 plus, near 50. I already 70 plus lah, that's why I say you young. Then I thought, normal lah, never learn. My time also a lot of us never complete school one. So that's why I ask lah, regret or not. Oh, okay. Auntie, sorry You see, your reaction to someone's aggression will cause a change of the situation. You might be a little unhappy or might even be angered by it, but your reaction will cause that person to reflect on their actions. Of course, some of them would not bother lah, so be it lah. But like this auntie, she became apologetic. I was like, it's okay lah, auntie, it's okay, normal lah. Yeah lah, normal lah, Malay driver. No lah. Chinese also a lot of driver, Indian also a lot of driver. Don't think about race. I only thought like, okay lah, you 40 plus, 50, never study. No, I didn't know you only 30. Or at that time, I was very young. That was what, 2017, 21 year old. Every year 21. And they decide to judge you every time lah. I don't know why lah. Probably they got nothing better to do. Go and look into your phone lah. Go and watch a YouTube movie or Disney or whatever. But instead, they decide to actually engage into a conversation which starts to, pass judgments. So is it really worth to do this? Some people actually boasted that they have like 10k earnings by driving. But the question is, how much time did they take and how many days they need to work in order to get that? You must understand this. Driving, it might seem simple for you drivers out there. You basic drivers drive from point A to point B cannot compare to someone who is driving for 12 hours. And even if you tell me you ever drove all the way to Thailand for 12 hours straight, it cannot compare with daily driving 12 hours in Singapore City. Because the driving patterns is different. You drive up to KL or drive up to Thailand is a long straight road. You have people inside that is your family or friends that you can talk to. Of course, if you're alone, it might be boring, but most of the time you have people to talk to, right? Similarly, for private hire driver, they got this kind of people to talk to. It's going to be different. Okay, and I have also seen those people who have actually driven 20 hours a day for a straight week. No proper meal time, seated the whole day. Have you ever seen this? You go ride your bike or drive your car to a petrol kiosk. You stop down there, you want to pump petrol. You come out, you relax, you take slowly, or even you tell the pump attendant. Then suddenly you see this private hire car driver, boom, 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 zoom in, stop by the side. Come out, only slam the door, run. Go where? Toilet. Why he need to run? Two reasons. Number one is he is too busy, stuck in a jam, cannot actually have the time to go to the toilet, have a passenger. Second reason, he forgot. You laugh. A lot of us forget. When you're already too focused on, wow, the ping's coming continuously. Now I need to earn this amount. Wow, I'm getting this good rate. Oh, this is jam. I need to think about this and that. You stop thinking. The moment you have a passenger drop out only, finish already, then suddenly no pings. Wow, every feeling all come up. Every feeling will come up. That's why you rush to the toilet, then end up you go inside the toilet. Some people might not even have the time to unzip. Okay, so on top of that, you must remember you are always seated for that 12 hours. Of course, you stand up a few times, but if people tell you they stand up every half an hour, bullshit lah. At least about 2 hours once. That one is the usual. Half an hour is a decent trip. You tell me what? You stand up, take passenger, you stand up again. No what? A lot of people go for at least 2-3 passengers. So, please guys, if you are actually thinking of embarking into driving, this is one thing that you need to understand. And your vehicle choice, whether it's rental or own, this one is a very, very, very big question. Should I rent or should I buy? Buy cheaper. Some people say buy cheaper. Yeah. Rental is higher in your monthly payments. Remember this. The monthly payments is higher. But the servicing, wear and tear, insurance, all these things is covered. Even the excess can be lowered by just paying collision damage waiver, CDW. And then you end the contract, you can return. Even never end contract also, you forfeit, you can still return. But if you buy a car, alright, servicing, engine oil, everything is on you. And mind you, you are not driving like other people. Other people take 6 months to hit 10,000 click. If you literally full-time driver 1 month, 1 month you hit 10,000 click. So every month you need to service, repair, lower arm, joint lah, gantung lah, all these things you need to repair. Who pay? You. Wear and tear, tires. Tires also, other people take 2 years, some 1.5 years, some 1 year. You less than 6 months you need to change already. You take the cheapest tire, even worse, the faster it wear off. And then insurance is on you. Back then I only top up like 300-400. Right now, if you got no NCD, the amount is almost times 2. I heard some people was quoted 4,000, 3,000 plus on a normal car. I'm not talking those luxury car, not talking big CC also. And all these costs are borne by yourself. And remember this, you need to have a prolonged time sitting. So your health is also affected. You must ensure you hydrate yourself. I see drivers, Coke lah, Fanta grape lah, lemon tea lah. This one also affects your health. Plain water. Some of you might need coffee, kopi o kosong, whatever. And you will have strained neck and strained back if you don't stand up every few hours. And then when you're tired, what can happen? Accidents. Okay, so some opinions. PHV driving might seem to be a simple job. Alright, it might seem to be. However, is it sustainable in the long haul? Some people might say it is, some people might say it's not. Depending on your lifestyle needs, how much you need to take per month, what is your driving patterns, all these things will affect you. So if your amount required is not high, you can actually drive minimum hours. Some people can actually drive only 5 hours, 6 hours a day. Kau team liao. Good lah. But if you need more, if you need like to take back 5 to 10k, wow, you need to drive 12 hours minimum. Some people might even need to drive 20 hours at certain points in time. So whether it's good or not, you must ensure that you have enough rest, guys, because rest, if you overexert, it will cause you dire results, alright? Before I leave you, this is the quote of the day. I think I've said a bit down there. One man's meat is another man's poison. Forcing yourself to fit into another's shoes just because they are successful may not give you the results you hope for. So whatever it is, think about it. Make sure you do your own research before you decide to move forward. And thank you for staying tuned. Wait out for the next episode in Suffer in Silence SG.